Alright, good evening everyone, this is a select board meeting for May 9th of 2022. I'll read tonight's agenda. Under new business, we have ER Daniel Road Solar LLC. We got a project to look at here on that, I guess. We need to approve the April 25th meeting minutes, we need to sign warrants. And is there anything else we need to add to the agenda?
We have a couple of food permits, I believe, in there too.
Fleet permits, okay. Anything else? Did we get anything from our attorney? No? Okay. Alright, we'll jump right into this solar project then. We had somebody presenting something or?
Yep. Good evening. My name is Jake Clark. I'm with Encore Renewable Energy. Can you all hear me?
Yes. Yes.
All right, great. Thank you for taking the time to put this project on the select board agenda.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, hang tight, Jake.
I didn't do anything. He did also.
Well, it's kind of like 10 meetings, no problem, just a little confusing, just what we did in there. Is someone in the parking lot?
These are awesome, but I'm nice.
Was that broadband coming? His presentation will be over, time gets on. We'll have to see how well he did. Can you do that again?
Oh, he's gonna know.
Why is that having a hard time? Someone using up our Wi-Fi?
I'm not on Wi-Fi.
I don't even try. Let's see.
Jake, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
We lost you.
I'm sorry.
Now you are found. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I don't know where I got cut off, but I'm
Your
Jake
name.
Clark with Encore. You heard the introduction to Encore as a company?
Yes.
No.
All right. Okay, good. On to the project. Are you familiar with the site location there at Daniel Road and Route 105?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a cornfield.
Yeah.
Okay. The project will occupy about 30 acres of that site. The solar project is comprised of around 14,000 solar panels. There's a fence around the project. We call it an agricultural style fence. It's wooden posts typically with sort of, woven metal. There's 2 transformers for this project. And most of the solar projects that you see across Vermont are built on fixed tilt steel racking, so they're locked in place and they don't really move. The racking system that we're planning on using for this project is called single axis trackers. They are oriented in rows north and south, whereas typically with the fixed tilt, the rows are oriented east to west. And with these fixed tilt trackers, the whole row rotates and faces the sun to the east in the morning, and then it rotates throughout the day so that they're facing west in the evening. And we can generate or harvest about 20% more energy using those trackers. And it also enables us to sort of generate more electricity with a sort of denser footprint. So we're trying to use a little bit less land. The Encore has, over the years, been working more and more to establish a pollinator cover crop underneath the modules. And we're also working with some farmers in Middlebury to arrange for sheep to graze under the modules, although I'm not sure that this project is planned for grazing, but it could be. One of the attachments that was sent over is a screening plan. We're working with a landscape architect group called TJ Boyle Associates out of Burlington. And the landscape architect has created a vegetative screening plan for groups of plantings to be planted along Route 105 to help screen and break up the views of the project from Route 105. Those plantings involve about 68 evergreens, trees and shrubs, and around 100 deciduous trees and shrubs, including about 100 dogwoods. The project is interconnecting to Green Mountain Power's grid, and effectively Green Mountain Power is buying electricity and then turning around and selling it in sort of a back-to-back power purchase agreement to a industrial customer in Essex. So I can pause there and take questions, or I can address a few other items. Are there any questions at this time?
How long does it take the trees to grow so you don't see the solar?
You're never gonna hide them all.
Well,
That project, that's.
it's never going to be the case. It's never going to be the case that you won't be able to see the solar, I don't think. The intent is to break up visibility and to to break up the visibility of the project. The plantings are not, I think that Mike, the landscape architect typically says that it takes around 3 to 5 years for the screening plantings to really grow in. The Encore is in the process of assembling what's called our CPG petition that goes to the Public Utility Commission. That certificate of public good is the primary permit that we get from the state to operate the project. And we have to conduct a natural resources assessment for wetlands and endangered species and streams and floodways and all those things. So that will be done in the coming weeks. We'll conduct a full aesthetic impact analysis, and that will also be done in the coming weeks, and be happy to share any and all of this with the town. We'll also, there's a couple of dozen other statutory criteria that we have to satisfy, but they're not sort of environmental or aesthetic. But we're required to send a copy of that certificate of public good application to the town when that petition is submitted to the Public Utility Commission. And we're probably planning on filing that petition within about a month. During the certificate of public good proceeding, one of the statutory criteria that we need to address is to say that whether the project complies with the town plan. I've reviewed the town plan and I don't see any red flags. And usually it is helpful for the Public Utility Commission if the town can give them or Encore an indication of whether the town finds that the project complies with the town plan. And we can we can take that up at a later time after we've had time to give you our analysis of the compliance with the town plan, which we will do as part of an orderly development assessment is what it's called. Are there any other questions?
No, I don't have any.
I do, who notifies the residents around the solar field? Is that the town's responsibility or?
No, that's Encore. The way this process works, it's different from the typical net metering process, which is more common. This is not a net metering project, but in a net metering project, the adjoining landowners are required to be notified in advance. For these types of projects, the PUC requires that the adjoining landowners are notified at the time that our CPG petition is filed with the Public Utility Commission. And what Encore typically does is we send out who's not a notice to the adjoining landowners in advance of filing the CPG petition to hear any inconvenience.
Hang on. Hang on,
Coming out over the coming next week or so.
We lost you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you start back from, what landowners that we're gonna hear from? We didn't hear any of that.
Okay. Yeah, we will send a letter to the adjoining landowners before we file the CPG petition, and that's not a statutory notice, that's just being a good, trying to be a good neighbor. Then when we do file our permit application, we're required to send more of a statutory notice that we will send out as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I got a question for the town here. How does that regulate back to the Bordeaux project?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear the question.
I don't think it had nothing to do with you. There was somebody else wanted to do a project too, and there was something said about that. So I'm just asking the town how the two correspond.
Well, I don't know what happened with the project down at Bordeaux. I think the company kinda,
I think the line was big enough to accept the
one
power.
was big enough to accept power or something. That was a big project. They were-
Oh, are you talking about the interconnection, the distribution service?
Well, we had another company that was trying to set up a solar project that was quite a bit bigger than this one in town,
Oh, okay.
but it never happened. But
Yeah.
my only thing is, you guys are using up good farmland there. You know, I like these little solar projects where they stick them off in back pasture or up somewhere you don't see them, but this is, you know, they're only making so much farmland, you guys are covering it with solar panels, but that's my only, gripe about the whole thing.
Okay.
Are there any other questions or concerns for him?
I have no more questions.
Okay, well, thank you all for your time, and we'll be in communication with the town as we prepare to file the CPG application. And when we have all of our various analyses complete, we can send you the full package for your review as well.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jake.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Mark Johnson is our zoning. The planning commission will be working on the new town plan, right? Is that something you guys would be doing?
It's not due till next year.
Right, but you
Right.
can start working on it now.
Yeah, we've already set up with Michael to start.
Mike, are you still on?
Yep, I'm still here.
So the town plan, that's what you guys would be starting this year, correct?
Yes, to my knowledge, we should be starting that this year.
Alright,
Questions for Mike? We're all set, Mike, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
You
you
too.
do too.
Those plans were, they showed you different site.
Yeah, I read the email, but, I mean, I got a lot of questions, but I'm lost behind the 8 ball, so.
Did you guys say
That's
yourself?
Lily's house, right?
In the way?
That's,
I saw,
David did.
I saw already seen.
House, that would be.
that's
King
King
Duper's,
yeah.
That was the house the one I was worried about was Hillary's
Yeah.
house. She's
Do
gonna be hidden behind,
Do
Oh,
they get
yeah.
any,
that, I don't,
kickbacks?
I doubt it.
you don't know.
I think the way the state's got it set up as a town, we don't have a whole lot to say anyway,
Right,
what goes on.
Cause it's private
On that
land,
last one, we didn't,
but if we found that we.
because it's a private land, there's not much.
But it fell within the town.
but
If
because the
it,
state
if
regulates
right.
all these.
meets our town plan,
Right.
if it meets the town
So
plan,
you
then
don't have
it
to,
has to do
you
it.
don't have to get a town zoning permit or anything.
The solar project that's on Benny Lucer's property,
Yes,
I see they have a little until they're all filled up and I drove by it tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's Hillary's place there. Yep.
So is Dan Lucy selling the land to this
No.
couple?
he just leases it to them and they put their solar project.
So then he still pays taxes on the land, but the solar company doesn't pay any taxes?
Yes, they pay on the solar cells.
oh,
They will, okay. And that comes to the town or the
Okay, that's the
state?
Daniel Creek, leads here and it comes to Yellowfine. Right at the end of this is where the land
But,
in there. So it's not really, and Hillary King is involved just beyond that home.
well, typically, like, if you were, like, say you were
So
putting
it's
a mill
no
on
walking
here, they're gonna just, these guys fruit power,
That's the only thing she's gonna be looking
it's
at.
kind of how they want to do
Yeah.
that.
So same thing with.
So there's no, she basically needs just a shitty deal, no kickbacks.
And I don't know if it goes down, like Daniel Road goes like this, I don't know, does it go down and back of Daniel Road too? So it's just over on 105?
Well, it's a little bit on Daniel Road.
Yeah, it's just a little bit,
Okay,
cause if you go down, you can see where they've tilled it, cause I went by it tonight for a came
She is, they shouldn't.
Okay.
to see what I could see. I mean, it's dry land.
Is there
Which is-
any value to
it's a
them
shame.
saying that it could possibly be a grazing pasture underneath? What it looks like, Sue, right? Is there any way to stipulate that?
This is like this. This is
That's the house.
right here, so this is all gonna be like this. And then, this is the road, okay? And then this is for sure. Here. So this, these guys are like this, the pillars that go behind here.
actually,
It's like-
talk about,
executive.
Staburi or whatever the name is. The house that's way back in the field with the red,
Yeah,
so that, actually, that's,
that's way back here,
right,
that's way back
this
here.
one's right there.
Where is this on that?
This is around 105.
Right, because I know the people that live there,
Yes,
they rent it, but I still.
yes. This is where it's gonna be right here.
Just behind.
Yes, and then Hillary's driveway is down here.
So they're just next to it.
Yes.
Still.
Yes.
Alright, I guess, We'll talk about, you have some information for us on that town property, any of you guys? Down to Noah Road,
It's on our agenda for the planning board next month.
okay,
We put it on the back burner because of winter and missing a lot of our members, and we didn't feel it was, a good time to move forward making decisions when we only had 3 members out of 5.
Yep.
So we were going to meet this month, but the regional planning board canceled on us. So it's on next week's, right? Next week's agenda.
Okay.
So we're starting back up and to have our final talk and conversations with all the information that we got from Nancy Patch and from the report that Andy worked on. And then we plan on bringing it to the select board.
okay.
With Nancy or just you guys?
Just us.
Okay.
My understanding, if I may, was that Nancy really wanted the planning commission to integrate with the select board in a meeting with the Northeast Wilderness Trust, which
Yes.
is offering to support the town's interaction with that property. And
Yes, but we wanted to meet with all our members and get with all the information that we have, and then we were going to come to meet with the select board just with the information that we gathered from Nancy and you guys, and then if they wanted to meet with Nancy, we were gonna set up a whole different meeting, Andy. Because we wanted to go over everything and see, you know, because we invited him and David's been our lead point, so we just thought we could just have a meeting, you know, not to cut anybody out, but just to have a meeting to inform and see, you know, after we get all our members back, that's our issue, to see how we all feel and what information we can gather to have when we come with the select board and Nancy. So,
well, it seems unnecessarily cumbersome. If you're only missing 2 members, I would think that you could canvass the 2 missing members and
they asked to be part of it.
mhm.
They asked us to wait, and now they're all back, and we were gonna do it earlier, but the Northwest Regional Planning Board canceled our meeting on us, so that's why we have to do it next week. So,
Next week,
yes, on the
17th.
17th,
that's a
planning board meeting and a DRB meeting.
Combined.
Where both boards are meeting together that night, and that's part of our, after we separate, the planning board will be meeting on that.
Okay. I'm just concerned that we've really spun our wheels for, since, was it 2016, when we first began to explore these options, and we do have a valued and cash-rich resource available to us. I didn't want the town to miss an opportunity to partner with the Northeast Wilderness Trust, and take advantage of their goodwill and their good money in offering to support any development activity that goes there on that small but ecologically valuable parcel.
Well, I think COVID really put a kink in a lot of stuff, it messed up a lot of gatherings and meetings, and hopefully we can get back at it here and keep plugging along on it here and see what we come up with, so.
Right. Yeah, because we're supposed to meet next week,
Yep.
and our feelings about it was, it has been on the back burner, so it didn't take our priority straight, I mean, that wasn't our top priority as of then. So now that all the members are back, we put it on our first agenda meeting with both groups.
Okay.
So we bumped it
Yeah, I
up.
was just curious of what's going on with that, figured you guys were here, so I'd ask.
We have our meeting, you're welcome to join us if you'd
Okay.
like to come, because both boards are meeting. And then the planning board is going to meet about that also.
In the planning board or commission, I don't know how you choose to style yourself, your interest is in taking ownership of the development of policies and procedures for whatever may come of that. The development of a town-owned conservation property is already embodied in the town plan. So I didn't know if the planning board needed to be the instrument of developing the governing policies that will effectuate the development and advancement of the conservation land that the town now
Well,
owns and has
I
already.
think it's worth taking a good look at that property, all the different values and uses of it, and what's the long range outlook for the, the town and
Exactly.
townspeople, and, some people might not think it's best used as a, preserve forest, and others might, so I think you need to look at everything, and then, go from there and see what we think, as they're working on this update in the town plan too, it's something incorporated all together, I guess, and try to figure out what the future looks like in the next 150 years and where that fits into that as a piece of the puzzle.
Well, indeed, but I certainly don't think that it would be wise to postpone the development of a plan for the use of that land based on the expectation that the town plan has to be renewed next year.
Right, no, I'm not saying postpone it, but I'm saying take a good hard look at it, because once you do something to that, if you do that conservation and then, 20 years from now, you say, oh, we should have made bike paths, or we should have made, a motorcycle trail, whatever, I don't know, but once you do something like that, it's done. You don't turn back. So that's why I'm saying, look at everything, take a hard look at it, don't just look at the dollar signs they're throwing out in front of you. That they're willing to put money onto that, but, that you gotta look at everything. So I don't think you need to rush through it here. What everybody else's opinion is, but I think you need to look at all the angles.
And I think
And see how it fits into the town plan and what the best use for it is, and.
So I look forward to hearing about the upcoming planning commission meeting, and look forward to seeing a scheduled meeting with the select board and the planning commission to nail down some of the details.
Yeah.
And then a larger, I know Nancy Patch had expressed a great deal of interest in making sure that the widest representation in the community was present for the conversation. But again, I'm just concerned that 6 years on, we're still imagining that we'll have some more meetings.
Well, I think we start back up here, get going on it, and then just keep moving along, we can come to some sort of conclusion on it. Get something figured out.
Jeez, it's okay.
Alright, so we'll wait to hear from you on that.
You're welcome to join us next week if you'd like.
Sounds good.
When's that meeting, Nancy?
Pardon?
When is that meeting?
On the 17th, here,
What time?
7 o'clock.
8 is the
Oh,
combined,
eight
7
is
was
the-
your DRB business.
Right, 7 is DRB, 8 is combined.
What's the DRB meeting for, do you know?
We
Um,
have been alerted, but I haven't.
it's
Just
out in my
some-
car.
Some zoning stuff.
It's just like a bounty line adjustment or something simple, something quick and simple.
Yep.
We have to realign the boards to make sure that they're official so we can come back to you guys. And something really quick with the town, and I think that's about it. Then we're going to meet,
Is that, DRB going forward now?
we could use one more. The planning only has 5, so we could use 1 or 2 more on the planning also.
Okay.
Now, we do put it out when we do our notices. It's put out there that if anyone wants to join looking to get hold of us, and we can take it from there.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
Excuse me?
How's the things coming on the old home days parade, Andy?
I'm sorry?
I said, how's things coming on the old home days parade?
Well, I'm not on that committee,
Oh,
thank you
yeah,
very
right.
much, but I'll respectfully pass you over to Brian. My board does sit on that committee.
I was just curious.
We're working on it.
Thank you, Andy. Well, I
So
see
I
you
said
sent out
that's-
flyers there for the parade, that's why I was asking.
Thank you guys, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, sure.
Some of these keys are there.
You guys started to get some of the details worked out, yeah?
Well, we're still in the planning.
Thank you.
We got a meeting like next Wednesday, next week here,
When is that parade?
July 16th. We're trying to find music, but music's a hard thing to come by.
Like a band? Old man garage band booked? I think you wanted them for the other ice cream thing.
They're too loud.
No, never mind. If that's too loud, then my option's not gonna work for it. You've used them several times though, haven't you? They were at the 150 year,
Right, but they're,
and then they were at the last ice cream thing too, right?
right, but they're too loud. I've heard it from other people, it's like, if you're trying to visit with somebody, the music is way too loud to visit with people.
You need bluegrass. Bluegrass band.
You just need,
I know a couple of them actually, I might be able to look out. What time would you want them?
for, in the parade, it's,
Is it just during the parade or is it
After?
after?
I'm thinking we're looking for just somebody in the parade, cause the after, they got somebody for the after.
Oh, okay.
And you have, you know, if each one plays for an hour, you have 4 bands. You know, it's, you don't get in at 5 o'clock and everybody's gone home at 2:30,
Right,
so.
okay.
We're looking for somebody that will be on a float in a band or just to have music of some sort.
And what time is the parade start?
11 o'clock.
Have you checked with the music teacher at school?
During the summer, kids don't wanna come marching in the parade. We've been there, done that,
You might have some.
but then it's like, you need somebody to lead them.
Anything else for us,
I found my answer to the grand list.
Okay.
That was inventory that went up $6 million.
Oh.
You found it?
I didn't say I found it, I said you found it.
You got his answer, he said.
Right, got the answer. My question is, how is that to be repaid?
The,
Are we doing that yet?
no, that's what I was hoping, we had that stuff today, but we haven't, I'm not sure why, I thought we had I had a handshake agreement with the man that represents the plant down there, and, they sent a first draft to us. And our attorney looked it over and got a hold of me, and we made a couple of small changes and sent it back to him, and haven't heard anything about it. I don't know if he has, you know, he was going on vacation, but he said he was bringing his computer, so he said if you heard anything, he was gonna get back to us, but guess I'll have to call and see where it got lost in the mail or something. I don't know what the holdup is, if they have a concern, you know, cause I'm not sure. I thought it was gonna be all done, we were trying to get it all done for the last meeting, and then, we had a few changes to send to them and haven't heard back.
Cause it's like every.
So if, nothing happens, I guess we owe them some money at tax time here this fall, or in November. If we don't come to any payment agreement there.
And I take it their assessments are dropped back off the grand list again this year?
It's gonna be what the
State said,
state said, yeah.
but it's still more than what was assessed last year.
Yeah, substantially, that's why we're fighting it, the appeal, that's why we appealed, because we thought it should be closer to what our appraisal was, but
But in theory, we didn't lose no money because the grand list went up.
Well,
They, even though theirs dropped off, somebody else picked up the slack, so it made the actual grand list rise.
it'll probably be even higher next year. Property values are higher. I don't know.
So,
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's all gonna shake out here, but hopefully we can come to some sort of payment agreement plan with them. If we can't, we're gonna have to, do a bond or borrow a short-term note or something to pay that back. We're not paying it all back this fall. Not without, some sort of loan.
So,
We're still waiting to hear from the state on a few things there for, they've got a couple bills trying to get through. I don't know if you've heard any more on those, Kim, or whether they're gonna try to help us out with paying some of the legal costs and we're still pushing the education board there for their portion of it. They're saying we owe money back that we didn't even get to spend because, we give it to the state education, we collect it, but we pass it on to the state for the education fund, and now that it was overpaid to the education fund, they're saying they don't know us that back, that's the town's responsibility. So we get to pay back money that we never even got to play with,
but my
according
opinion,
to the state.
my opinion on that, that would just open up a whole can of worms for the state. You know, if they start doing that, cause the big dig in Newport and the big dig in Burlington, it's like, I'm assuming their value was the same thing.
Well, there's some other towns that have been through this and the state's helped them out on the education funds, I guess. Because, you know, for what we owe them, it's 3/4 of our municipal budget for a year. So if we have to pay that back, we're gonna run on a quarter of what we normally do.
I see that, I realize that.
Yeah, it's not a fun situation for us to be in here, try to figure it out, but I'm hoping we can do some sort of payment plan with them that we were talking about. We're trying to get it spread over 3 years. And, we'll see how that works, I guess. As a refund, a deduction on their tax bill. We'll split it in 3 even payments is what we're working on.
And it's like, is that interest accrued, or is that just
Well, that
whatever
was-
the number is divided by 3?
The agreement we had was interest was gonna cease on the day that we met, if we can both sign this agreement. That's the agreement we have right now, but it isn't signed yet, so who knows, we still have that agreement. It was supposed to be the interest would cease and we would pay it back over 3 years. So, hoping that comes through for us, that'll help us. And then if we get some money back from the state, we shouldn't be in too bad a shape.
But then they could come back and do the same appeal again.
Well, we could, if they don't sign this agreement, we can just up their appraisal, we can go on what, we can have it reappraised and put it at the value we think it should be. And then we go back through and spend a lot of money, both of us spend a lot of money on lawyers and see where it ends up, but
They have a lot
I
more.
think they're talking to them, I think they're fairly satisfied with the number they got. They're looking for some more stabilization, they don't wanna have to go through this again. The way he spoke, they'd like to see it, stay where it is as long as they can without having to go through this fight, because he said it's just cost us both money for lawyers and, they didn't get the number they were fighting for, but it's just like buying a used car, you don't ever pay what you're asking, so. I think they were pretty happy with the way it came out, happier than we were. you know, from my understanding, I'm speaking to this gentleman, but I don't think they're not looking to come back in another year or two and fight this, because they're basing a lot of this on, they just signed a power contract, and they're paying less for power than the previous 20-year contract they had, and so that's why they valued that property less, because of the value that it's gonna generate over the next 20 years. That was their biggest reason for fighting that appraisal number. And I think they sounds like they're pretty happy with the way it is now. I mean, I can't speak for them. I mean, they could turn around and fight it again. But who knows, but.
Because you can look at their agenda online there, their thing is to make it profitable.
Yeah. Well,
And if they got deep pockets, they'll make it profitable for us, for them.
yeah. I mean, I guess they have, I mean, this company it's not a local owned company. They don't have, you know, it's not like they have 50 employees in town, and the town, you know, it's just a few employees down there, and they're run out of a corporate office somewhere, and they're looking at their bottom line.
And the
I
corporate
mean,
office is in Rome. It's like,
you know, and so those
Is,
guys down there
is
just,
it in Nell you're looking up, or are you looking up Three Rivers?
in Dell.
It's not in Nell any longer, it's Three Rivers that owns it. It's sold since we've been in this,
yeah,
yeah,
so,
and they're based out of, I believe, New Hampshire.
So it's been sold since it's been sold?
yes. Yep.
Since it was appealed, it's been sold.
Yeah, so that's where we're at. We're hoping to sign an agreement with them there to pay it back over 3 years. And I was fairly satisfied with the talks I had with him when I was here and what we came up with for a plan, because he was willing to stop the interest and let us pay it back over 3 years. And I tried to get him to waive the interest, or our attorney tried to, and I mentioned it too, but he said that's gonna help pay some of their attorney fees, I guess, so. You know, it is what it is. I mean, they could just say, well, you guys lost, you owe us this much money before November. And that's, according to state statute, we have to pay it back by tax time.
So is it, and Dell, you owe the money to, or the new company?
It all depends on how the paperwork gets here.
Yeah.
So how much was it sold for this last time?
Just what they wanted for it, right? Is that what they were going for? The 24 million?
24, 25.
It's part of a big portfolio.
That's where their starting argument was that the plant was just purchased, this plant and what, 7 or 8 others in New England or something were just purchased by this company, and they figured they had 25 million into this one, so that's what they thought it was worth. That's what it should be worth. And that's where they started their whole process of the tax grievance. And then they had an appraiser that came in at 25, wasn't it? And our appraiser came in at 38.
Came in at 40, but with the CLA it was 38.7.
So that's where it went from there. And the settlement was kind of halfway in between the two, I guess. And then we appealed that because our attorney thought that we had a good chance of, we had some good arguments on why that number should have been halfway in between the two. But they didn't see it that way, and the Supreme Court denied our appeal, and so we're done. So So we just gotta wait and see what they wanna come up with for a settlement agreement and make a plan from there, I guess.
One other thing while I'm thinking about it, all that hay clump up on Crow Hill, can that be picked up, spread out, moved around?
Where's that?
Right there just above, Aaron Reed's, what's the other one there? Between Aaron Reed's and Stevie Mingler's.
Oh, where they extended the water line? And that's all,
There's all just clumps of hay there.
yeah, we have to go up and look at that and see if they can pretty it up a little, get some grass growing in there. Just got washed down, cause they did that water line in the winter, so they put some hay down, and just got all washed into one pile. I haven't been up there, but.
They're just big clumps of hay.
Okay. Yep. Alright. Yes, that's well. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
That you just need to sign, Steve, for, the auditors, not the auditors, the listers. We closed the grand list in February and we didn't sign that paper.
On the 2021 tandem, they didn't go for that last grade either? So that wasn't a warranty item.
Mr. Longren's had enough for the sheriff's department?
Yeah. Someone told me he's selling his house, it's too bad. I don't know where he's moving to.
Well, I'll read the meeting minutes from the previous meeting here. Select Board Water Commissioner meeting minutes from April 25th of 2022. We met at 7:30 here at the town office. Present was Stephen Dodd, Seth Hungerford, David Klubit, Kim Dufresne, Brian Derry, and Roddy Churchill. 7:30, I opened the meeting and read the agenda. Addition made for an executive session at the end of the meeting to discuss the tax appeal. Brian Derry questioned the grand list value in the 2021 report. Board will ask listers to verify the number. Roddy Churchill questioned building on a class 4 road. Board could not answer his questions and asked him to contact the zoning administrator. We signed warrants 2215 and 2216 and some fleet permits. We signed the 2022 local emergency operation plan. I read the meeting minutes from April 11th meeting, amended Brady's name to Brady Farrar. Gave a motion to accept as read, seconded by Seth, and all in favor. Discussed new water meters. They're on back order from Prescott. Hubert was going to check out a system that FW Webb's carries for availability. We read the engineer report for the Hill Road culvert. Board would like cost to install a box culvert, cost estimate. And the board extended Duke Rain Lawn Care bid for the 2022 season for the Grist Mill Park and the Bordeaux Ball Field. And town's gonna take care of the rest of the mowing, I guess. 8 o'clock, Seth motion to go into executive session, seconded by David, and all in favor. We discuss the repayment plan for the hydro. The town attorney will have the contract ready for next meeting. 8:30, Seth motion to adjourn, seconded by David, and all in favor, meeting adjourned. Take a motion to accept these minutes as read.
Make a motion.
And a second.
I'll second it.
Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Guess we're good. Press release from the sheriff's department. Town office received a call from, can't say her name, but she lives on 531 Gilman Road. She'd like select board members to know she has concerns, complaints about the noise from the coon cannons made during the summer at Hartman's. I don't know, I guess you have to look for any noise ordinance or anything on that.
No, that will.
I
Okay.
think there's just the noise in the nighttime, that's the whole state's covered under.
Right.
But I don't know, because that's ag, if that's still considered in that.
Okay.
Sticky situation with
How often do they fire them?
Every 3 minutes.
They start at, so this corn's starting to get ready and they go all summer. And he's got 2 of them.
How often?
They go off quite often.
You think it's like
It's loud. Get used to it.
their concern
And
is their dogs. There's another
Well,
lady
there's the
too.
dogs.
Yeah. That can be a real pain in the butt. If the dogs for the fireworks or on they're barking all day.
Yeah, I don't know. Brian said he's got a good cure for keeping the deer out of there. And there, he said nothing works with those. He said they get used to those after a while. Yeah.
What eats coons? That's where I would go.
Well,
Can you get some Fisher cats?
Dinosaurs.
got coon
Cage
dogs.
them in?
Yeah, coon
Coon
dogs,
dogs,
but
right?
they don't like to run them there because it's too close to wildfire.
Yeah, for sure.
If they get them down on the lower side and go toward the river, it's alright, but my son won't bring his dogs down there because he's worried about that road.
Yeah, don't blame them.
Alright, what else we got?
I think these are complete permits. Yep. So these-
Let's say let's go back in the basket. Right in.
We'll go to the Cannabis Control Board meeting.
Does anyone want to go to that
Oh.
meeting? It's a Zoom meeting, I believe.
Which one? This one?
Is that the canvas?
Mm-hmm.
Alright,
Mike Johnson signed up, the zoning, he signed up for that meeting, so he will.
oh, yeah, okay. Talked to Seth the other day and, he said he's got someone from the state coming to do a grader training, but they're not gonna be able to get him till a little later there, be this summer, he said. So he's gonna try to line up some chloride jobs, just chloride, grading and chloride at the same time. There was a chainsaw one, but he's all certified and he's Brady's done it through school there, so they didn't jump on that one. But he's starting to hear, they're starting to do some things, I guess. He said the grader when they're coming right here. They're just gonna come here and spend the afternoon with them, I guess, and give them some pointers and.
It's Stu Johnson, do you know anything?
He's a state employee or?
He was, I think he's retired. I think he's back doing this training.
Okay. Is there anything else we need to speak about tonight? Before we go into executive session?
I checked the, I received an email about the police coverage. Checked all our meeting minutes are on the website, right? I seem to find the meeting where we discussed the sheriff's contract with their staffing issues and the decision that we made to stay with them or just basically let the contract run out. So I just need to find the date on that meeting so I can cite it for the email. But if the meeting minutes are there, I can find it. I want to say it was like October when we discussed it. It was.
Does he think there's any chance they're gonna get coverage back in town or?
I'm not for the request for proposals yet. Just kind of waiting to see.
It was after you had the.
I was in the messenger the other day,
But they
they were
are,
talking, he's still short of staff there.
I don't think it's just the
They're
sheriff,
gonna
I
have to
think
hire
it's
a constable.
state police who have issues.
I think he's got 3 5.
I'm sorry?
This would be a town constable for him.
I don't know constables in there.
You have, I've been explaining.
Have you been constable yet, Joe? Your dog catcher, you been constable too.
I don't think the town wants that. I think it's in the, there's a bylaw somewhere that redheads can't be the constable, something about a short fuse or something, I don't know.
Alright, I guess if we're good with everything, I'll take a motion to go into executive session. We've got some employee issues or not issues, but employee things to discuss.
I'll make a motion.
Alright,
I'll second.
alright, so the motion is we go into executive session and then as we come out, we adjourn for the evening?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed? Alright,